One of the ways that I remembered a lot of what I read beyond a significant system of stickies is this. I pretty consistently cross-reference stuff that is happening from page to page to make thematic connections and intellectual connections. So this use of the word weathered in the context of even our dreams are weathered follows a significant usage of that word weathered on page 7. So I write a little hyperlink, see page 12, dreams are weathered. I may never look at that again, but I will certainly remember that link. This, by the way, comes from Dr. Ruha Benjamin's book, Viral Justice. It comes out in 2 days. This is an advanced release copy. You should pre-order it, or you should just order it. It is really good. And by that I mean my heart and my face are alternately melting, but let me give you 2 more examples. On page 1, literally the first page, I see this. Police helicopters circling, and that makes me think of something. And you might think that this is extra, but I've read another one of Benjamin's books. And that reminds me of the connection that she talks about in her book, Race After Technology, when she talks about technological surveillance states. So I go looking through my previous notes on a previous book to try to find that surveillance state reference until I find that, whoa, boom, it's actually literally the first page of her other book as well. So I write a little hyperlink, see Viral Justice, page 1, see Race After Technology, page IX. And since memory is associative, pulling that whole system of thought up reminds me of page 83, where we see this predictive policing algorithm that I referenced in one of my viral videos early on in the history of this channel. And this is not planned. I see down here another connection, 361 Broken Heart of America, counterinsurgency and predictive tactics. And all of a sudden, boom, my mind is like spinning and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember that. And if we look in that book that I was referencing below, we can see this. See Race After Technology, page 83, predictive policing. And all of a sudden, we're looking at 1960s era surveillance databases. And so the helicopters in Dr. Benjamin's neighborhood in the 70s are not the first example of the surveillance arm of the carceral state. They're one example in a lineage of many instances of the surveillance arm of the carceral state over many decades that are now in many of these books. I haven't read this yet, so this now gets like bumped up my to-do list for. And no, I'm not totally ridiculous. I have finite cognitive limits. So sometimes with thoughts like infantile individualism, I'll just write at Liz Plank and at Liz Bell Hooks. These page numbers might change because it's an advanced release, but I did the same thing with Wall Kimmerer and Birdsong. And I won't do this for the entire book, but this strengthens the connections of all the ideas in my head and helps me hold on to them. Happy reading.